Hey everybody, my name is Kim Danke and I am your fast track instructor. And the first thing that I want to do tonight is I want to reassure you that you have made a great decision. Shibboleth is a lifestyle. It is not a diet, it is a lifestyle, and it is something that I truly believe and know that I will be able to stick with for the whole rest of my life. And isn't that what we're looking for? We're looking for something that's going to help us reach our goals, but once we get to the goal, we are looking for something that's not going to be something that we just fall off the planet, as we say, and not be able to keep up with this for the rest of our life. This is truly something that you can do for the rest of your life. And I'm going to go ahead and say to you now what I told some people on my little morning show. If you haven't liked the Shibboleth public page yet, please do that. I do a little morning show Monday through Friday just to keep us motivated and keep us going. But I told everybody on Friday that we're not supposed to be in weight loss mode forever. Weight loss mode is supposed to be that time where you lock it in, rip off the knob, and get it done, okay? And then you can be in maintenance mode for the rest of your life. That's the mode you're going to be in for much, much longer than weight loss mode. Let's just get the weight loss done. So what we're going to do tonight is a lifestyle overview. The only way for you to understand what you're hearing and what you're reading in posts and in videos is to kind of understand the terminology that we use. So we're going to do a lot of that tonight, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. But here's what I want you to do for me. I kind of get on a roll and I just start talking and go, go, go. If you think of a question, please go ahead and type it in the chat so that you don't forget it, but please don't be offended if I don't get to it right then. I'll just come back to it and get to it in just a few minutes, okay? So I am going to share my screen with you. And hold on, I did something wrong. I didn't hit share screen. There we go. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to go over this little PowerPoint here. Please let me know if you have any questions as we go through, and then I'm going to tell you at the end what. Don't leave early, okay? Because I'm going to tell you at the end what all you need to do to make sure that you have a great week and really learn this lifestyle. So just a little bit about me. I have a master's degree in education, and from the University of Alabama at Birmingham, and I've taught school, and I've also been the principal of a school, and I enjoyed both of those things. I love being an educator, and when I found Shibboleth last year, I thought, why do people not know this information? Oh my goodness, I've got to help out and figure out a way to get this information into the hands of more people. My spiritual gift is evangelism, and hey, I'm going to share good stuff with you. So this is one of those things that I find very important to share with people. Now, I joined Shibboleth last year after I got on the scale one morning and I weighed 185.5. Well, I didn't want to weigh 185.5. My skin wasn't very comfortable anymore. My clothing wasn't very comfortable anymore. I didn't have anybody telling me I needed to lose weight, but I knew my own body and I knew my own skin. So I called a friend who'd been posting about something called Shibboleth. And so I contacted her. She told me all about it, and I'm a scourer. I just make that word up, but I will scour a website, click on every link, click on every tab, read every document, play with everything possible. And then I found out, oh, they've got a location near me, a physical location. I'm so blessed to have that near me. And I went up to class and I loved it. And I met Miss Patricia Hurt up in class. And you know what she told me? She goes, you need silver level and gold level. Just do it all. I said, yes, ma'am. Okay, yes. And I love that. When somebody tells you what you need to do when you don't know what you need to do, you just trust them enough to follow them. I did that, and she was right. Now I'm a lifetime member, but that's what they had last year. So I lost 50 pounds in about 5 months. I only wanted to lose 35.5 pounds. Do you know, I thought it was going to be hard. I thought it was going to be hard. So I set my goal at 150. That was 35.5 pounds. I hit that in 3 months. And then I went into our maintenance program. I lost 15 more pounds in maintenance. And I've been maintaining my 50-pound weight loss. And actually I'm 51 now, but I have been maintaining that weight loss for 10 months now. And y'all know, if you've lost weight before, how you'll kind of touch that goal, but then you're like, boing, right back up. So I'm so thankful to touch that goal and just go right here, maintaining. And that's what we want to do. So what I want you to do tonight is, if you do have pen and paper, I want you to take some notes. And I am going to, this is part one of a two-part series, tonight and tomorrow night. And I'm going to tell you some things tonight that tomorrow night I'm going to ask you to answer it. And so you might want to write those things down, okay? So first of all, welcome to the Shibboleth lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. What are the first 4 letters in the word lifestyle? They are life, life. What are the first 3 letters in the word diet? Die. Okay, we don't want to die. We want to have a lifestyle, okay? So that's what we're doing. We're having a lifestyle. And you know, my lifestyle includes my family. My lifestyle includes my work job Monday through Friday. My lifestyle includes Shibboleth in this. So there's so many things that my lifestyle includes. My lifestyle includes church. So this is part of my lifestyle. All right. So let's see. I got somebody asking about cheese over there. Okay, so I just bought fat-free. There was 2 kinds of Borden fat-free cheese, which I really like, at Publix at Cedar Crest yesterday. I also always find it at Publix at Giles Road. This is in Kennesaw and Ackworth, and I also find it at Ingalls. And then I don't shop much at Walmart, but when I was looking for fat-free shredded, I did find that at Walmart. But the Ingalls and those 2 Publixes also had the Cabot Extra Light cheese too, which is a block cheese, which I really liked. So Publix is going to be a good choice. Ingalls as well. And then Tracy's also saying Walmart has some of the cheese. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. Okay, so I'm just going to teach you the basics tonight. We're going to boil it down to, what do you have to do to just live this lifestyle and do this program? First of all, you need to know that we have 2 modes. 2 modes. We have weight loss mode or maintenance mode. And you already heard my tip on weight loss mode should not be the longest mode you're in. Maintenance should be. Weight loss, let's just get it done. Maintenance is the rest of our life. We have 2 types of days. We either have a perfect day or a holiday. So a perfect day is a day where you're meeting every component of the Shibboleth shield, which we're going to go over in a second. And a holiday is some day where you are not meeting some component of the Shibboleth shield. It's that simple. You're either meeting the components of the shield or you're not. Now, I have strategies on the holidays, which I can teach you guys later, but I do suggest that you plan out your holidays for the month. You don't have to have them when you get there. I had today planned for a holiday, but I totally didn't feel like taking it. So I didn't. So it's, but if you have a holiday, I want you to know that a holiday is not a bad thing. That's why my little picture right here says to enjoy the holidays. This is a lifestyle. You do get to enjoy those things. But when you get off your holiday, you come right back to your perfect day, and that's how you're able to maintain and continue to lose weight. How many holidays are allowed? When you are in weight loss mode, you can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. Once you get into maintenance mode, you can use up to 12 holidays in a calendar month. This week, we're going to be talking about weight loss mode. I just want you to know what you have to look forward to when you get to maintenance mode. Now, I truly do not believe that every single holiday needs to be a hog trough day where you just eat all day long. But I do want you to know that whether you have one meal that's unapproved or a hog trough day, it's still a holiday. It's still a holiday, okay? So that's how you want to think about that. And that is a question that I get asked often. Is it one meal or is it all day? It can be all day or it can be one meal. But you know what? When you're living this lifestyle, your mindset is going to change over time. So who knows? In the beginning, you might be, I'm going to have a hog trough day. But like yesterday, I just had one unapproved meal. It was a holiday, but I only had one unapproved meal. So anyway, those mindsets change. But whether it's a hog trough day or one meal, it's still a holiday. It's easier to recover, though, from one meal. Okay, how do I have a perfect day? We follow the Shibboleth shield. Now, I want to talk about that word, Shibboleth. That's the actual Hebrew pronunciation of it from the book of Judges. And in the book of Judges, it was used as a password. A password is a secret. We have found these secrets to weight loss and wellness, and everything that you need can be found at your local grocery store. That is exciting news, exciting news. Now, in the new member Fast Track group on Facebook, there is a video that Travis did called The Origins of Shibboleth. I would love for y'all to watch that because I want you to know why he named this ministry Shibboleth. And it's important for you being a part of this to know where the name came from. So, but I say Shibboleth Shield only because it rolls off my tongue faster and better and easier. But he says Shibboleth, okay? And so we say Shibboleth too. So you follow the Shibboleth Shield. After 2 perfect days, your body gets into a state called EFB, efficient fat burning. Okay, do you know that fat is really just stored energy? We've overeaten by X number of calories that did not get burned off in that day or in the next day. They didn't get burned off. So if they got stored. So stored energy, if you ever hear me saying stored energy, that's that body fat that you're just trying to get rid of that you don't want, okay? It's stored energy. But I want you to understand it in that way because we need to get into a state where we can efficiently burn that stored energy. And we're going to teach you how to do that. So there are 5 components to the shield. Number 1 is water. Number 2 is journaling your food. Number 3 is combinations. Number 4 is portions. And number 5 is timing. And I'm going to hit each one of those in another slide. So I'm going to move on. Hey, Maureen. Let's see who else is on here. Hey, Mary Pruitt and Jane and Michelle and Maggie and Melanie and Connie and Diane and Kelly and Maritza. Hey, everybody on Facebook. If I missed you, your name already slid up beyond what I could see. I'm sorry. Okay, component number 1 of the Shibboleth Shield is to drink your water. You need to drink at least a half a gallon of water every single day. Your goal is really a gallon. Be shooting for that gallon. But if you end up doing, let's say, half your body weight, as long as that's more than 64 ounces, you're good. But you're shooting for a gallon. And in weight loss, that gallon is kind of important. It's going to keep you from feeling hungry a lot. And so that gallon of water is really important. But simply, I just want to show you simply what 64 ounces or half a gallon is. 4 of these, you know, these regular size water bottles, 4 of these in a day is your minimum. That's what your minimum is. And I don't want you to get in 63 ounces. I want you to get in 64 ounces. Because if we start getting in 63, we start getting in 62, we start getting in 61, we start sliding. And if you'll slide there, you'll slide on other things. So we get in 64 ounces at least of water, but 128 ounces, which is a full gallon, is your goal. You can't do that due to medical reasons or some other reason, just get in the 64. But you've got to do what works best for you, but still keep it within the guidelines of the Shibboleth program. Let's look right down here at point number 3. It says a dehydrated body will not efficiently give up fat or waste. So a lot of times our body is dehydrated, so it is hanging on to those things. We need fat and waste to be leaving our body, okay? So if we have water in, we've got fat out. If we have water in, we've got poop out. Okay, so we've got to get both those things moving efficiently, and a dehydrated body does not efficiently give those up. So you can start with this tomorrow. There's no reason that you can't get in your water tomorrow. And I truly believe that if you go ahead and get this started now, you can lose 7 pounds in 7 days. So many people this week have already lost way more than that. But I say on average 7 pounds in 7 days from the moment that you get started, okay? Let's look at component number 2. Component number 2 of the Shibboleth Shield is to journal, Now, the reason that you journal your food, one, I often forget what I ate. You know, you say, oh, I remember. We got so much going on in life. Not everybody's going to remember everything. And if you journal online and you ever want to have one of our mentors have a look at it, complimentary, included in your membership, if you want them to have a look at it, and you've journaled online, you can hit the button, submit for journal review, and they can have a look. I also thought of a brilliant thing yesterday at class. When you journal, do you realize that you're creating your own future food meal plans? if you ever need to go back and print meal plans, you've got them. This is an amazing way to store your meal plans by journaling. But in the beginning, journaling also helps you learn the program to make sure that you're combining foods in the right way, because that's a big part of the program. And also, journaling has a lot to do with behavior modification. Most of the time, people that start Shibboleth or any weight loss program need to modify a behavior that they've been doing that hasn't been helping them. And so journaling also will help you do that. So you do want to journal. If you don't journal, we don't consider that a perfect day. So this is the way I say it. You determine your day. Your day does not determine you. So you wake up in the morning based on your month plan. Like if you've planned your holidays, you already know which days are going to be perfect days and which days are going to be holidays. You go in there and you mark that in your journal, and you go ahead and write down what you're going to eat. That's what you stick with. That's what you do. If your plans change and you change what you eat, you just change that. It's that simple. But if you bite it, you write it. If you nibble it, you scribble it. If you drink it, you ink it. And if you hog it, you log it. There are no idle bites on planet Shibboleth. Okay, so journal your food. You can start that tomorrow too. Component number 3 of the Shibboleth Shield is combinations. This right here, secret alert, because this is one of the secrets of Shibboleth. This is the #1 way to weight reduction. Combining your foods in a way that keep away the fat bus. I will talk more later about what the fat bus is, but the fat bus is an actual hormone, and it's called insulin, and we're going to learn more about it. But you're going to eat properly combined meals that keep away the fat bus. We are going to hit that briefly tonight on another slide, but tomorrow night, that's the entire lesson, is combining food. So you do not want to miss tomorrow night's lesson, okay? You definitely don't. So make sure you register for that. I'll have the registration for that in the new member fast track group right after this webinar, or you can already find it on the website as well. Component number 4 of the Shibboleth Shield is portion control. Obviously, people know, this is the first thought. I need to lose weight. Let me eat less food. True, okay, but that is not the #1 way to weight reduction. Controlling your insulin is the #1 way to weight reduction. Portion control is very important, so it's like the #2 way to weight reduction. But what happens with the Shibboleth plan is all of the things are put together. The water that we need, the journaling for behavior modification and future food meal plans, combining foods in a way that control insulin, controlling our portion amount, and then the next one, which is timing, component number 5. It all makes a great plan all put together. So you can't just say, I'm going to drink my water and yep, I'm going to lose weight. Well, it's not just that. Yep, I'm going to journal and I'm going to lose weight. No, it's not just that. It's all of it put together. So that's why it's a lifestyle of what we do. But here's the great thing. You do not have to count any points. You do not have to count any calories. You do not have to weigh anything or measure anything. I have not done any of that since I started Shibboleth. I combine my foods properly and I put them on the right size plate. So we're going to eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate. That just means a smaller plate. If you're using an 8-inch plate, it does not mean the 2-inch rim. It's the inner portion, okay? But no matter what size plate you are using, the 2-hand rule trumps anything, the size of your plate, the 2-hand rule. This is the 2-hand rule. You put your thumbs back there where you cannot see them. You put your hands together just like that. You put your hands down over your food. If you cannot see your food sticking out around your hands, then you've portion controlled. If you can see your food, you just remove that part, put it in a container, and it's going to be for the next meal. Okay, so you use your 2-hand rule. You do not want your food to be any thicker than the thickest part of your hand either. Okay, so basically I say that because I don't want you piling up the Thanksgiving and Christmas plate and then putting your hands over it and saying, I can't see it, okay? So no thicker than the thickest part of your hand, and you should not be able to see your food. But we don't have to weigh, measure, count calories, or do anything like that. The right combination, you can't see it underneath your hands, you're good to go. I want to talk about portions right now, and this is going to be a question that I'm going to ask you tomorrow night. 1 pound of fat has 3,500 calories in it. 1 pound. So y'all write that down because that's going to be a question I ask for tomorrow night. So let me look at this real quick. So Galaxy S9, it says, can part of my water intake be water with flavoring? Well, this is the way I would do that. It is truly best to get in water without anything in it. So this is the way my mind does it. I know I want at least 64 ounces without anything in it, and then if I want to have one with some flavoring in it, then I do that. That's the way I do it. But you really want to get just clean, clear water, but some of it can be with a flavoring, okay? You just don't want all of it to be with a flavoring. All right, so let's go on. Oh, 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. So in order for us to lose 1 pound of fat, you've got to be in a calorie deficit of 3,500 calories. That's why the portion control part is so important. But see, we combine the #1 way to weight reduction, which is controlling insulin, along with the portion control, and it supercharges our weight loss. You are going to be blown away. If you do the program, you will be blown away. If you don't do the program, you'll be wondering why you're not blown away. Okay. Component number 5 of the Shibboleth Shield is timing. This is the only component of the Shibboleth Shield that if you don't hit just right, it does not throw you off of having a perfect day. You do need to hit component number 1, 2, 3, and 4 to say you're having a perfect day. If you don't hit number 5 just quite right, it will not throw you out of having a perfect day. Here's why. We all live a different lifestyle. We all have a different lifestyle. We have different work schedules. We have different things going on in our families. We're different ages. We work, we're retired. I mean, it's just the whole gamut. So it's not like we could say, okay, wake up and eat breakfast at this time, lunch at this time, dinner at this time. So what we have to do with the component number 5, timing, is we have to tell you the optimization of it. Then you need to figure that out based on your waking hours for eating, okay? So we only do 3 meals a day, and we shouldn't be eating more than 3 meals a day. More than 3 meals a day is called grazing. We are not cows. We do not need to graze. We have 1 stomach. A cow has 4. Okay, so we do not need to graze. Also, grazing is hurting our metabolism. So we want to just go with 3 meals a day, breakfast for the Father, lunch for the Son, and dinner for the Holy Spirit. 3 lovely times to sit down and say, thank you, Lord, for this food. Thank you, Lord, for this program. Thank you, Lord, for the support that I get here. Thank you that I finally found something that can last me the rest of my life. And thank you for this meal that you've given me. So this is the optimization of it. When you wake up, if you are a breakfast eater, you want to go ahead and eat within an hour or 2 of waking, okay? Then lunch 4 to 6 hours later, and then dinner 4 to 6 hours later. And really that should be it. And if you're curious about what I did in weight loss, that's what I did. I just decided I wasn't doing freebies, extras, and snacks and weight loss, and I did 3 meals a day. And it worked, and I did feel satisfied, especially because I used the meal replacements to taste like chocolate and other things, and I didn't feel like I was missing out. We'll talk about that later. But so anyway, if you're a breakfast eater, eat within an hour or 2 of waking, and then eat lunch 4 to 6 hours later, and then dinner 4 to 6 hours later. It takes 36 hours for some food that you have eaten to digest. Our body does not need to be in digestion mode all the time. If we're always just piling food on, then we're slowing down our metabolism, and it's ultra important at night to not go to sleep stuffed. If you go to sleep stuffed, guess what's happening? Your body is not recovering as it should. In our body has a hierarchy of how things happen. Digestion happens first. So if at night, a different hormone, a different growth hormone comes out at night that helps us recover our cells and all kinds of things like that. But if we go to bed stuffed, our body's going to digest first before it gets to recovery. And if you're waking up and you're like, I'm tired and I've got bags under my eyes and I've got all these wrinkles and all that, you're probably not getting enough recovery at night. So I would highly suggest that if you can, not to eat up to 4 hours before bed. That would be optimal. That'd be optimal. But if if you still keep a perfect day with properly combined meals and all that, and you end up having to eat late some night, it's still not going to throw you off of having a perfect day. It's just not what you want to do every day, okay? And then I'm going to read this last bullet point here, and then I want to answer a question. In moments of mental weakness, and I say that because we really could make it from breakfast to lunch. We really could make it from lunch to dinner, and we really could make it from dinner to bedtime. But in moments of mental weakness, we do have things for you, freebies, which can be eaten unlimited. You could do one extra in a day, and you could do one snack in a day. We're going to talk about those. I'm going to answer the question, then we'll come back over here. All right, Galaxy S9 asks, sorry to ask so many questions. I love questions, don't be sorry. But does the hunger go away the longer you do this? Yes, it does. I ate 3 meals today and a snack, and yeah, okay. So first of all, I want to change one thing. I want to change the word starving. Let's learn not to say starving, because I'm sure you're hungry, but I know we're not used to being hungry. So that's the thing. We're not used to being hungry. But yes, it does start to go away. And I also want you to know, I didn't plan on showing my shirt tonight, but I'm going to show my shirt. Embrace the growl. Embrace the growl. What that means is, if your stomach's growling, say, wow, I must really be accessing some stored energy right now. You got to pull out all the strategies you can to tell yourself what you need to tell yourself at the moment that you need it. Because so many times, the things that we decide to do, if we could just have pulled out some strategy for a momentary weakness, then we can get over that. But Galaxy S9, I'm going to tell you what I did in the beginning. So it's 8:31 right now. In the beginning, when I was hungry, I would go to bed. Yes, there were times I went to bed at 7 o'clock at night, because I'm the type person that once I go upstairs to the bed and get all comfortable watching TV or whatever I'm doing in there, I don't get back up again and I don't think about food. So I highly suggest that one of your strategies is just to go on to bed and wake up the next morning, because the more days that you have under your belt, the better it'll get. And people that have done Shibboleth for a long time will tell you that. So yes, that will happen. Also, if you've brought had an insulin release lately, insulin, like yesterday maybe or whatever, if today's your first perfect day, I don't know the answer to that, but insulin increases appetite, and so it could be that as well. But you will get used to it, I promise. And you can utilize freebies if you need to. All right, we are going to go back to component number 3, because remember, I said that component number 3 of the shield is the most important one. It is properly combining foods. Now, what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to talk about the numbers of the categories, the little abbreviations that we use, and then the long name for it. So we have, I say we, I didn't do anything, I'm just teaching it. Travis and the team have put together a food library for us. All whole foods have been put into a category. So they are put into a category based on how they respond in your body. They respond in your body differently based on whether or not it's a protein, what type of carb it is, does it have fat in it, that kind of thing. So we've got these in these categories. That's what we're going to go over. And it's very scientific, and I want you to understand that, because I think knowing the science behind this helps a lot of people. I've heard a lot of great feedback about that, so I want to make sure that you understand the science of it, because once that clicks up there, it's going to be, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, so there are 7 categories of food. Category 1, so anytime you see a 1 or hear category 1 or you see LP, you're going to know that's a lean protein. There's hardly any fat in there at all. It's mostly protein. Amino acids are the building blocks of life, so we do need that protein. That protein will also make you feel full, so if you are eating meals, you want to make sure they have enough protein in them. Protein, well, no, that was going to get too complicated. I was about to go into advanced lesson. I'll tell you, different day. Okay. Category 2, F C, fibrous carb. Fibrous carb. You're going to find that fibrous carbs are those really great things that can just go with just about anything. And you're going to know that when we talk about the fact that we have over 60 approved breads or bread type items in the fibrous carb category, that's a hallelujah moment. When you know that you can still eat bread, I'm talking like just regular old Sara Lee 45 calorie delightful bread, and lose weight eating that bread, it's exciting news. We do not exclude an entire macronutrient. Any program that excludes an entire macronutrient is not sustainable for life. And you don't want to start any program that's not sustainable for life because it's a waste of your time, energy, effort, and money. Now, let's look at number 3, EC, energy carb. I'm going to kind of run through these quickly and go back. Category 4, PF, protein plus fat. Number 5, FR, fruit, all fruits in this category, also known as antioxidant carb. So if you see anything that says AC, that's an antioxidant carb. Category 6 is an SF, superfood. Category 7 is SHF, shellfish, and look right here at this phrase, which is really just a lean protein. This is going to be a question I'm going to ask you tomorrow night. So listen carefully. Shellfish, category 7, is really just a lean protein. It's really just a number 1. The reason that shellfish was pulled off of the lean protein category due to medical reasons, allergies, things like that, and biblical reasons, some people do not want to eat shellfish, so it just got put in its own category. So if you don't want to eat shellfish, don't like shellfish, then guess what? You don't have to eat shellfish. You don't have to eat anything you don't like on Planet Shibboleth. Our whole goal is to take the foods that you normally eat, just tweak the product. If you're buying a product that's not approved and doesn't work, tweak that product, and then teach you how to just change up the way that you're eating the foods, the combinations. That's the goal. So if you ever hear us talking about something that you don't like to eat, don't think you have to eat it. Scratch it off your list. You don't have to eat it. But shellfish is really just a lean protein. So anytime we're talking about lean proteins and you are a shellfish eater, just know that's included in lean protein. Now let's look real quick at category 2, 3, and 6. Fibrous carbs, energy carbs, and superfood. There's 3 categories right there that you are going to have. There's going to be foods in those categories that are what in the past you have considered vegetables. Okay, well, they are vegetables. Like, they're vegetables. But see, people think, oh, vegetables are good for you. They are. But here's the thing. They don't all respond in your body the same way. So based on the way that that vegetable, its makeup responds in your body, we have to eat it in the right way. So I highly suggest that you create a list of all the foods you like. Just go crazy, writing down all the foods you normally eat. And then look them up in the food library. And the next task is to write down what category they come in. And then you look at the combination chart and you put little meals together. It's really quite simple. But so let's look at some of this. This fibrous carb category, that might be where you find your vegetables like cruciferous vegetables, your broccoli, your cauliflower, green beans, things like that. Oh, let me go back to the lean protein real quick. Chicken breast is a popular one. Egg whites are too. I also want to address that if you are vegetarian or vegan, you still can do this program. We have a filter in the food library that when you click on lean protein, you just click on that filter and it filters out the stuff that's not vegan or vegetarian. You can choose which filter you want. And then your energy carb, that's where your corn is, all your potatoes, grits, long grain brown rice, that kind of stuff. Tomato, Maureen, is an energy carb. It also can be used as a condiment depending on how much you were using of it. We consider a tomato an energy carb if the tomato is the main part. It's like you're really going to eat a lot of tomato, then you need to combine it properly. If you are just eating the tomato as a little condiment, you can just call it a condiment. Brenda's asking if she can eat egg yolks. Well, guess what? Are you saying egg yolks by themselves, or are you just saying a whole egg? Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, you can, Brenda, no problem. Lean protein is where your egg whites are. Protein plus fat, that's where your whole eggs are, because they've got the lean protein and then they've got the yolk that has the good fat. All right, but it's still a protein plus fat, so we need to make sure we treat it differently. I eat whole eggs most of the time, Brenda. So protein plus fat's also where your steak is and things like that. Fruit's just all fruit. Superfood. This is a question I'm going to ask you tomorrow night. So listen. A food qualifies, let's see, Shirley, this is being recorded and it will be in the new member fast track group. So yeah, go take care of that and you can watch it later, okay? Thanks for asking. Superfood, all 4 macronutrients are in a superfood. So that's how something qualifies to be in the superfood category. It has all 4 macronutrients. Now, on Shibboleth, we consider water a macronutrient. Do you know it's a macronutrient without any calories? Which is great. Maureen, tomato on a salad would be fine. You know, I wouldn't put any protein plus fat with it, but you can have it with your fibers, carbs, and your lean protein, yes. That would actually be a proper combination, doing it that way. So, superfood, water we consider a macronutrient, but also protein, carbs, and fat. Yes, protein, carbs, and fat. So all 4 macronutrients, if a food has that in it, then it qualifies as a superfood. And superfoods, though, vary greatly. So see, like you've got all of your darker colored beans are superfoods, but they have more carbs in them. Whereas nuts and seeds and nut butters, those are your superfoods. They have way more fat in them. But we're not even going to get to that nitty gritty right now. We're just going to say a superfood is what it is, and you can eat it in the proper combination. So now hopefully you kind of have an overview that there's 7 categories of food. They each have their little abbreviation, and they each have their long name. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you the 5 categories that you can eat by themselves. This is going to be a question for tomorrow night too. There are 5 categories that you can eat by themselves. You can eat lean protein by itself. You can eat fibers, carbs, protein plus fat, superfood, and shellfish. You can eat all of them by themselves. Oh, I'm going to go back to answer a question I just thought of earlier. Oftentimes when I tell people that there are 2 modes on Shibboleth, there's only 3 differences between those 2 modes. 1 is the number of holidays that you get. 2 is the way that you eat fruit. I'm going to go over that next. That's why it made me think of it. And 3 is your mindset, because your mindset's got to get into a spot where this is my forever lifestyle. So you just don't want to eat energy carbs. If you ever want to have a perfect day, whether you're in weight loss or maintenance, you just don't eat energy carbs by themselves to have a perfect day. In weight loss, you do not want to eat fruit by itself. Once you get into maintenance, you can have fruit as a serving, as a snack by itself, but not in weight loss. In weight loss, you've got to treat fruit differently. Now, the reason it is, energy carbs and fruit bring an insulin release due to their sugars. So you have an insulin release come out. Well, what did I say was the #1 way to weight reduction? Controlling your insulin. So if you have an insulin release due to the energy carbs and the fruit, any fat that you've eaten in close proximity or a reasonable amount of time around, it's going to get stored. It's just going to get stored as fat. So we have to treat it properly. Let's talk about what a properly combined meal looks like using an energy carb or fruit. So let's look at this energy carb. Let's just use lima beans, for example. If you want to eat some lima beans, you must pair it with a category 1 and a 2, not just a 1 and not just a 2. If you're going to eat some category 3, and I just use lima beans as an example, you want to eat that, it has to be with a 1 and a 2. Let's look at what that might look like. 1/4 cup is a good serving amount. So if you just do a 1/4 cup, but you're also going to use the 2-hand rule. I just like to give the 1/4 cup example for people who do like to measure stuff. But if you're going to use your hands as your measuring tools, Your lima beans are going to be about right there, okay? And then I just use chicken breast for easy example, but there's lots of choices. You're going to put your chicken breast right underneath there. And let's just use broccoli. You put some broccoli under right there. You cover that all up. Let me tell you what scientifically is going to happen when you eat that meal. The lima beans, because they are what lima beans are, they're going to bring a little bit of an insulin release. It is just going to happen. But did you overeat the lima beans? No, you didn't. You ate a reasonable amount of lima beans. So you're not having dose after dose after dose of insulin come out because you didn't overeat the lima beans. And then you knew, based on our conversation tonight and this lesson tonight, you now know I kind of pair that with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So the protein in the lean protein and the fiber in the fibrous carb are neutralizing the insulin release from the lima beans. Is that not amazing? Totally scientific. It is just the way that it works. Now, and when that happens, you don't come out of efficient fat burning. You do not come out of efficient fat burning eating that type of meal. If you were just to eat a bowl of lima beans on its own, you would totally come out of efficient fat burning because you didn't have any protein and fiber to neutralize the insulin release from the lima beans. So let's talk about fruit. Maybe you want to have some fruit for breakfast. So about half a cup actually would work for some fruit. And berries are your best. They have the lowest glycemic index. So berries are best. So take maybe half a cup. But what that might look like having with that is maybe an egg white spinach omelet. So let's see. Brenda asked about the whole eggs. So Brenda, you would not do your whole egg in that combination. So if you want a whole egg, you're not going to put fruit with it. You're not going to put fruit with it because the fruit's going to bring an insulin release. That whole egg has fat in it. So the insulin, which is the fat bus, is going to go around and collect that fat from the whole egg and store it. And that's not what we want to have happen. So really, it kind of depends on what you're wanting. So let's say that you do Oikos 000 yogurt with some blueberries in there and maybe some hemp flakes. You could do that. You don't even have to do the hemp flakes. You could just put the berries on there as a condiment even. Because we're going to talk about condiments tomorrow night though. And because condiments can really kind of help make a meal. Oatmeal and blueberry. I wouldn't do that myself, Sheila. Okay, so lima beans are, did you look lima beans up, Maureen? Because lima beans are an energy carb, I'm pretty sure. So Sheila, first of all, I don't know what oatmeal that you were eating. And you can use up to 50 calories worth of anything on a meal. So if you wanted to use up to 50 calories of blueberries, okay, good for the steel cut oats, that's good. But if you're wanting to lose weight, I would not put that combination together for a moment. I would back off on that because blueberries, it's 50. Are you using them like a full serving or are you using it as a condiment, Sheila? You can have up to 50 calories worth of condiments for each meal. Maybe a quarter cup, Sheila, let's see. Personally, Sheila, I would not want to do that. I would be afraid that you're not really eating anything with fat in it, but I still wouldn't want to do that combination. I might do just up to 50 calories worth of berries for that. Once you get to maintenance, that's not going to hurt you. But I'm talking weight loss this week, okay, Sheila? Let's see. Maureen, it shouldn't take long to get the order at all. And Galaxy S9, 50 calories worth of condiments on each meal. Yes, you can. But let's talk about this. If you eat 50 calories on each meal as a condiment, just for the heck of it, even if it doesn't make the food taste any different or better, it's going to add up because 50 times 3, so 3 meals a day, that's 150. 150 times 7, I'm pretty sure that's 1,050. I think I did the math one time on that. 1,050. That's 1,050 calories in a week that you're slowing yourself down by. How many calories? Who can tell me how many calories are in a pound of fat? Let's see. I see some questions on Facebook. Stormcat, yes, this is recorded. And hey, Linda, I'm glad y'all are watching again. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, 3,500. Y'all are listening. That's awesome. So 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. So if you want to slow yourself down a little bit, you can use all those condiments. But here's my what I say about the condiments. First of all, the condiment needs to be an approved condiment or meet the rule. And we're going to talk about that rule tomorrow night. I'm not going to talk about it tonight. But if the condiment is making the meal, like helping it taste better, then do it. But you know how sometimes people will slap a piece of cheese on a meal and that cheese isn't even making it taste any better? You don't even know it's there. I would leave those off. You know, so just kind of figure out and play with it and see what you really need as a condiment. There's a lot of 0-calorie condiments, and of course seasonings don't have any calories in them. So those are going to really work too. For the second, I'm going to go back to something. I'm going to go back to this timing. So remember, see how we talked about you can have freebies, an extra, and a snack? Freebies really shouldn't add up because they almost take as much calories to burn them in the chewing and digesting, because if you're eating the right freebies, they do. But let's say that you ate so many freebies that it added up to 30 calories. Okay, I know that doesn't sound like much, but we've got to do something. And then an extra, let's say you had an extra that's 70 calories. Let's say that you then ate a snack that's 200 calories. So no snacks are over 200 calories. You add all that up, that's 300 calories. If you are putting that in every single day, you're slowing yourself down, losing that pound of fat by 11.67 days. So I would just say the point is you can have these things. I would just be choosy and do them where I really needed to. Let's see. On regular cheese, I would make sure that it's approved. You don't want to use full fat cheese. So I would have a look. I would match that cheese up in the food library. Salsa is pretty much approved, Zan. Yeah, salsa is pretty much approved. I would just okay. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all the condiment rule. The condiment rule, because y'all got so many questions about condiments, we'll slip into a tomorrow night lesson. When you want to have something as a condiment, it needs to meet 3 rules. You're going to look at the nutrition label. It needs to have 5 grams of sugar or less per serving and 2 grams of fat or less per serving. And you're not going to use more than 50 calories of it. So we call it the 5, 2, and few rule, because you're going to look at the back of that. And if you wonder, how can I remember that? Well, the word sugar has 5 letters in it, thanks to Patricia Hurt, who gave me that recommendation. So there's 5 letters in the word sugar. So when you're looking at the back of the nutrition label, if there's 5 grams of sugar or less and 2 grams of fat or less, and you're not going to use more than 50 calories of it, then you can use that item as a condiment. Where this comes in handy is, let's say you're walking down the aisle in the grocery store and you say, I want to get a barbecue sauce. And you look it up in the app or online and you don't see that barbecue sauce in there. That's when you can look at the back of the label, and if it meets the rules and you're not going to use more than 50 calories of it, then you can use it. So as for the cheese, I would want to make sure that that cheese doesn't have more than 2 grams of fat in it. So I hope that makes sense. Now I'm going to talk about right here, okay, I want you to know the things you don't eat with each other. Do you see this protein plus fat? See this word right here, this fat? That's where you want to make sure that you're very, very careful and you're not eating that with certain things. You do not want to eat a category 4 protein plus fat with your energy carbs, your fruit, or your superfood, because those bring a little bit more of an insulin release and it's going to go around and collect this fat. So let's talk about the classic plate of a steak and baked potato. All steaks are approved. They're category 4 protein plus fat. They have protein in them and they've got fat in them. Once you've eaten that steak, there are fat lipids roaming around in your body. That actually would not be a problem if you didn't pair it with a potato. When you pair it with the potato, and most of the time people aren't eating like a little small potato, they're eating a potato the size of their hand. So they eat this potato, and because it's a huge amount of potato, dose after dose of insulin comes out to neutralize that, your blood sugar. So it's going to come out to neutralize that. Well, when that comes out, guess what that hormone does? It goes, wow, there's fat here. Yay! Let me go pick it up and store it. That's exactly what it does. I need you to imagine in your head right now that little insulin hormone coming out. I need you to imagine it as a bus, and it's going around and it's picking up those fat lipids and it's taking it to their destination. Think about a bus. A bus's job is to pick people up and take them to their destination. Well, the fat bus's job is to pick up fat and take it to its destination. We don't want it at the destination it's going to take it to, okay? We don't want it there. So you don't want to eat a protein plus fat with anything that's going to bring a little bit more of an insulin release, which is your energy, carbs, your fruit, and depending on the superfood, but just to keep you safe, superfood. And I hope that is starting to make sense scientifically. I kind of like think about this as a science fair project. It's like, do I want, when I put this combination in my body, am I going to win the science fair or am I going to lose the science fair? So just make sure you put the right combination in. And if you don't understand everything tonight, that's okay. We have multiple videos and ways to learn it and classes. Okay, so when you're learning a new concept, it might take you a week to get this down. It shouldn't really take you more than that if you really want to learn it and start applying it. Okay, so I'm going to recap some things I just went over. Keep in mind that tomorrow night's class, I'm going to be going over foods. I'm going to be going over their combinations and all that. So everything that we just talked about in this little recap, the whole hour tomorrow night is on that. The most important rules of food combining are this. Your category 1 plus 2 plus MCT, which is the oil that we use. We're going to go over that in a minute. Or a 7 plus 2. And when we use the word plus, that terminology plus, we're not doing any math, we're not doing anything like that. This just means you have these on your plate together, okay? These are the fastest fat-burning combinations. So if you really want to do the fastest fat-burning combination, a category 1 plus 2 plus MCT or 7 plus 2 plus MCT will get you where you want to go. I've got somebody that's wanting to lose, can't remember how much she said, but she wants it off by June 25th. She said, how would you do that? I said 3 meals a day using the fastest fat burning combinations. And so I hope she's doing that. If you want to eat a 3, which is an energy carb, or a 5, which is fruit, you must eat it with a 1 and a 2, a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And just as a recap, don't eat 4s, which are your protein plus fat, with your energy carbs, your fruit, or your superfoods. Look at this last point right here. All meat at a restaurant should be considered a category 4 protein plus fat. Here's why. You take a piece of chicken breast, which if you cooked it at home would be a lean protein, but you don't know what oil they cooked in at the restaurant. I doubt they're cooking it in an approved SHIBBOLETH oil. And so you just have to consider that chicken breast at a restaurant would be a protein plus fat because they took a lean protein and they cooked fat into it. So therefore it's going to have the same effect as a protein plus fat. You can use ghee butter. Yes, you can. Okay, let's look. That's the next thing we're going to talk about, approved cooking oils. So our number 1 approved cooking oil is an MCT oil, and 100% MCT oil. 100% MCT oil. MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. This right here is one of the secrets of SHIBBOLETH. A medium chain triglyceride is a very short little fat lipid. It's very short. This is in comparison to LCTs, which are long chain triglycerides. They have a very long fat lipid. They take forever to burn up, and they have a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat because we're not expending enough energy to burn them up. Have you ever been to the gym and you thought, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to burn off this stored energy, and then nothing happens? Well, it's probably because you didn't change some of these little things. If you go to the gym and change these things, you're going to be really wowed. So let's imagine what a long chain triglyceride is. That's canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil. We do not use olive oil on an approved perfect day. So olive oil does have good health properties for you, but it is not good for weight loss. It has some wellness properties. It's not good for weight loss. It also does change when it's cooked too. And so we don't want to use that. So 100% MCT oil. If you want to know the one I recommend, I highly recommend the one from our store. And that's the only reason it is because it's been maximized for cooking. And we are only using MCT oil for the purpose of cooking. So right now you're hearing me say MCT oil is good, but you do not want to just take a tablespoon of it. You do not want to put it in your coffee. You do not want to put it in shakes or anything like that. We use MCT oil for 3 purposes. And I really am expanding on this. It all has to do with cooking. Let's say you're cooking some chicken in a pan. If you're cooking 1 chicken breast for yourself, 1 tablespoon of MCT oil. If you're cooking 4 chicken breasts for the family, 4 tablespoons of MCT oil. And also keep this in mind. You need to cook on low to medium heat, otherwise it will set off your smoke detector. Just the fact that I need to tell you that shows you that MCT oil burns up like that. The MCT oil that we have at the store has 100 calories in it per tablespoon. Most other MCT oils have 130 calories per tablespoon. So I like the fact that ours also has fewer calories. You can also use MCT oil in recipes, the SHIBBOLETH approved recipes, which there are thousands of them in the recipe library, and you can use it to make salad dressing. So you can use it for those purposes, but we don't put it in coffee and make bulletproof coffee or put it in shakes or anything like that, because those foods are pre-digested foods and we do not need to add fat to a pre-digested food. Even with MCT oil, there's nothing in a coffee or a shake to slow down that, to regulate your blood sugar and that and not capture that fat, because it is still fat, but it just doesn't have a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat because it burns up so quickly, okay? The second approved cooking oil will be coconut oil. Now, what I want you to look at, if you don't buy the Zero Drag 100% MCT oil from the SHIBBOLETH store, Travis really recommends the Now brand. You can buy it on Amazon or anywhere like that, but Now would be his second favorite. And basically, he's just looked at everything and he's giving you his opinion on which one is the best. If you still want to get one somewhere else, totally fine, but he's giving you his opinion. Now, when you are buying an MCT oil, I want you to look at it and make sure that it's not emulsified. Make sure that it doesn't say on there that you shouldn't cook with it. Also, make sure that it's not just repackaged coconut oil, because coconut oil is 60% MCTs. It's not 100% MCTs. So just make sure that's not that. But you can use coconut oil. And ghee butter is optional too. You can use that and still be a perfect day. Ghee butter is a clarified butter. Once butter has been clarified, there is more MCTs in it. And that's why it works. You can use hemp oil and you can use 0-calorie cooking spray. Now I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. Well, it was a great question I got from somebody. Why would I choose to use MCT oil that's got some calories in it versus a 0-calorie cooking spray? Well, that's because this right here has a thermogenic effect, MCT does, and it helps burn a little extra calories. But still, you don't take it as a supplement or anything like that. It really does its best job when it's paired with a lean protein or a fibrous carb and things like that. But it does help you burn a little extra fat. So those are our approved cooking oils. If you use olive oil, it would be considered a holiday. And you can still have olive oil. It's just a holiday. And you do get up to 6 a month right now. So I already kind of mentioned efficient fat burning. Once you've had 2 perfect days, your third perfect day is your first day in EFB, efficient fat burning. So you just want to I have a streak. You want a streak of efficient fat burning days. And if you are journaling in your online journal, these little icons pop up in your timing chart and you can see those flames. Well, I want flames. So, so that they're in there. But we're striving for a perfect day, right? But planned or unplanned, a holiday is going to come. You're going to go out of town and you're not going to want to have to concern yourself. You're going to have a birthday or a holiday or anything or an anniversary. You're going to have those things and you can enjoy them, but you come back to your lifestyle. You come right back to this. And so after a holiday, this is important. After a holiday, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into efficient fat burning. Here's what's happening during that time. During those 2 days, that insulin that was brought during a holiday is dissipating and going away. Once that insulin goes away, and once the glycogen, which is sugary reserves, have shown up during that holiday, once they've been utilized, then your body gets back into efficient fat burning. Your body is in efficient fat burning when you're not giving it easily accessible energy. LCTs like canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, super easy accessible energy. Category 3 energy carbs and category 5 fruit, it's easily accessible energy. So your body, like I said earlier, it's got a hierarchy. It's going to use easily accessible energy first. You know, just human beings in general, we're always going to take the path of least resistance. So is your body. So it's going to say, oh, great, she gave me some potatoes today. I'm going to burn those potatoes first. Well, did it ever get to burning stored energy? No, you need it to get to stored energy. So I did leave out some 3s and 5s in the beginning to make it be faster. But really, that's our most important category, not category, but our lifestyle column, where it has all those in there, is really your most important column of combinations, because that's your lifestyle. That just shows you can have so much. Shows you so you can have so much. So anyway, I already went over all that. We're going to skip to the next slide. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the fat bus. What is the fat bus? Did anybody know before today that the fat bus and that insulin was a hormone focused on fat storage? I had no idea. I had no idea. Let's see. Yes, Zan, it does. It does. So, yeah, olive oil is not an approved oil. Right, Sheila. I had no idea that insulin was a growth hormone focused on fat storage. But it is, and I kind of gave you that description earlier, that if you've eaten like a steak and a potato together, the potato brings out the insulin release and it says, yay, and it goes around and picks up fat and stores it. That's what it does. After an insulin release, fat storage occurs for up to 48 hours, meaning you're out of efficient fat burning. This point right here is important for you to understand. Insulin also increases after an appetite. So let's say that you've had a couple of holidays and you're coming right back to your perfect days. Well, when you get right back to your perfect days, you may be a little hungry and you may say, dang, I'm hungry. Well, it's that insulin. It just hasn't dissipated completely yet. And then after your 2 days of perfect days, you get into your 3rd day, you get less hungry because you don't have any insulin running around in there. And then just as a reminder, once the fat bus has been on its rounds, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. And those perfect days show up as green checks on your timing chart. And then your 3rd perfect day shows up as a flame. And then you just string as many efficient fat burning days together. And then planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. You have it, you enjoy it, you get right back to the lifestyle. Do you see how it's a balanced lifestyle that you have something to come back to? I am fully confident that when I go on vacation now and I gain a few pounds because of what I've chosen to eat, that I can come right back and get that off. I don't have to let my vacation turn into vacation for a year. I know what I'm doing now. So here's the question I get. What am I going to eat this week? Well, first of all, in the SHIBBOLETH new member fast track group, I want you to know that my meal plan that I ate for my first 20 days is in there. It is not a lovely magical meal plan. It was me trying to figure this thing out. And that's why I think it's kind of useful to new people to see what a new person ate, because I'm just trying to figure it out. I did eat about 30 Mighty Muffins. A Mighty Muffin is a meal replacement. So we've talked all about combinations tonight, but we also have recipes and meal replacements. Meal replacements are my friend because life is busy and I don't always have time to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so I find some meal replacements that I like. So I ate a lot of Mighty Muffins and they're really good. That meal plan is in the Shibboleth new member fast track group. And let's see in the end, I'll put the link to that right there. And let somebody on Facebook maybe want to type that in. I don't know if y'all can find it, but so what I want you to do is I want you to make a list. So if you're a brand new member, your website, if you click on Food Library, it's going to give you a list of lean proteins, a list of fibrous carbs, and it's not nearly the list of 5,000 or more foods that we've got in the food library. It's small, okay, to kind of help you out. Make your favorite list of 10 to 15 lean proteins, all right? Then make a list of 10 to 15 fibrous carbs. And then just like you were in elementary school and you take that pencil and go, this matches with this and that would taste good, this matches with this, that would taste good. Do that. Cook it up in some MCT oil and you've got your fastest fat burning meals. Throw in a few meal replacements for simplicity and you will be in EFB. You'll burn fat. You're going to be drinking your water. You're going to be modifying behavior by journaling. It's going to be great. You are going to have great success. You're going to have great success. I got one more slide and then I'm going to show you where to find that meal plan. I want you to take advantage of our awesome resources. So make sure that you are in the right Facebook support groups. In the Shibboleth new member fast track group, I've got links to the groups that you need to be a member of if you are a member at certain levels. Okay, I've got those. So join those. Familiarize yourself with our awesome website. And if you are in the Shibboleth new member fast track group, I put out a post in that group every morning before 6 a.m. And it's a video of me showing you how to use our website. Because if I can help shorten your learning curve, then we're in a good place. And then I want you to make a getting started mentor appointment, but I want you to make that mentor appointment for next week. I want you to focus in on the Shibboleth fast track this week, learning all that you can, doing all that you can, and then set up your new member fast track. Your getting started mentor appointment for next week. That way, if you didn't have questions that got answered, you can ask your mentor. Mentors mostly are Joni and Missy. So, I also want to explain this to you. When you see people responding to your questions on Facebook, like Joni Shibboleth, Missy Shibboleth, Kim Shibboleth, or Amy Shibboleth, they're just using Shibboleth as their last name to have a Facebook persona for Shibboleth purposes. So Shibboleth isn't actually their last name. They're just using that. Christy, email me, please, so that I can just send it right back to you. My email, I'm going to type this in right here. I also want to reassure you, Christy, that you do not have to have Facebook to do this program. Everything that you need is right there on the website. But I will send you, I do have it like this for people that don't have Facebook. So email me that and I will send it right back to you. All right? And then just focus in on the fast track this week and you'll be good. So I'm going to stop my share real quick and I'm going to show something else. I'm going to share a different screen. I want y'all to join tomorrow night because it's really important to have the second class. So we're going to go to Facebook. This is the I'm going to copy this and put it in the chat. There's the link right there to the Shibboleth New Member Fast Track group. And when I get off of this Zoom, I'm going right to this group and I'm starting to let people in, okay? So I will let you in right there. And then I feel like there was something else I was going to show. I don't know. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to show you. I was going to show you, I want to show you the new member fast track group, how it works. This group is not like our silver level group. The silver level group is just a constant feed of encouragement and pictures and questions, and it serves its purpose, and it's awesome. But the purpose of this group is it's designed like a little electronic textbook. You can scroll all the way and find the very first post in this group. And that's important, because if you'll scroll all the way to the bottom of this group and then just work through each of the posts, then you will you'll see there's that video I told you about, the origins of Shibboleth. It's right there. This is the lifestyle PowerPoint that I just did. It's right there. Excuse me. And then there's my April meal plans right here. This is what I ate last April. So once you click on there, it opens up. It might not show it since it's a screen share and it doesn't always bring up exactly. Let's see if it. So basically, this is what I ate. Yeah, it's going to show. It's going to show you right here. So for breakfast on my very first perfect day, I had a mighty muffin. For lunch, I had 96% lean ground beef seasoned with taco seasoning, shredded lettuce. And I had 2 strips of red and yellow bell pepper. I probably would eat more bell pepper now, but that's what I did at that time. And so this was a meal replacement. That's why I did MR. This was a category 1 and a 2. So, because look at this, 96% lean ground beef is a category 1 lean protein. The taco seasoning didn't have any calories in it. Shredded lettuce is a category 2. Bell peppers is a category 2. So that was a 1 and a 2. And then for dinner, I had chicken cooked in 1 tablespoon of MCT oil and cauliflower. That is your fastest fat-burning meal. 1 + 2 + C. I tell you, I love that MCT oil. Once I cooked my chicken and put it on my plate, there was some little bit of MCT oil left in the pan, and I was at the table and I couldn't quit thinking about that MCT oil over in the pan. And so I went over and got the pan and I got a spatula and I put a little ramekin down there and I got it all out and put it in the ramekin. So I was cutting my chicken up. When I would cut the chicken up, I would then dip it in that oil and eat it like a little au jus sauce or something. It was so good. So the next morning, I had a whole egg and spinach omelet because, see, whole egg is 4, spinach is a 2. You can have a 4 and a 2 together. I had an omelet, so it was good. For lunch, I had steak and green beans. That was actually at a luncheon. I went to a luncheon and I had a steak and green beans because, see, when I go out to a luncheon, if they're serving steak, I just know to put a fibrous carb with it. And then for dinner, I had the same thing as the night before. So, you know, when you're learning the program, you just kind of do what you got to do. But look, here's Mighty Muffin, Mighty Muffin, Mighty Muffin, Mighty Muffin, Mighty Muffin, Mighty Muffin, Mighty Muffin. But see, what a Mighty Muffin did for me was it kept me satisfied. They taste good, and it kept me in EFP. So y'all can go in there and y'all can print this out if you want to. Totally fine. Now, join tomorrow night. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in there for you to join tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we're going to do, these are some examples of lean proteins. These are fibrous carbs. What two might you want to eat together and that kind of thing. But you might want to get yourself out a piece of paper and start writing those down, the meal ideas that you see that you like and everything, and just start doing that. But you can go ahead and do all 5 components tomorrow of the Shibboleth Shield. Because seriously, you can just go make yourself some scrambled eggs if you like eggs in the morning, and there you go. That's your first perfect breakfast. And then if you have to go to Chick-fil-A for lunch tomorrow, you can have a grilled chicken, grilled nuggets with a side salad. It'd be great. See, and you have a perfect day. So you're going to love this lifestyle because there's so many things that we make it doable for everybody. Well, I hope y'all have enjoyed tonight. Let's see, I scrolled to the top of the chat. Let me see what's going on at the bottom over here. Let's see. Patricia gave us a tip. You can use cheese, not if the fat count is greater than 2 grams per serving. Yep. And then, okay, so I just showed you my meal plan. The Mighty Muffin. So they sell Mighty Muffins at Walmart and Kroger, and they don't carry a very great variety, but we sell all of the variety at the Shibboleth store, but you can buy them at Walmart or Kroger page. All right, if y'all have any questions at all, please ask. And I'm going to tell you, I would highly suggest that you ask questions in the regular silver group versus the new member. You can ask it in both. It's okay to ask it in both. And here's why. There's not as many people posting in that new member fast track group all day long. But if you post in that silver level group, you're going to get answers like that because there's 7,800 people in that group. 7,800 people ready to give you an answer, give you their opinion, and tell you what they think. Maureen, let's see, hold on. Sheila said, can you eat sugar-free syrup on Mighty Muffin? You can. Yes, you can. And Maureen says, what brand meat is best? 96%. Well, Laura's Lean is a 96% lean ground beef. I think there's some others. I just buy the 96%. I just buy the Laura's Lean. That's what I use. Now, if you can't find it in the store right now, you can just try to go online and buy it. They were out for a minute. So here's the thing. If you can't find a 96% lean ground meat, you can use 93 to 95% ground meat. That would be a category 4. You just want to make sure then that you only put it with a category 2 fibrous carb. You don't want to have any energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods with it. But you can use a 93 to 95.9% meat if you can't find the 96 right now. And normally I do 2 live classes, but I rewrote the fast track last week, and I might come on here during the week sporadically. I'll try to give you a heads up and practice on y'all, and I think you'll really like it because it will be just lessons on food and what to put together. Well, y'all have a great night and start tomorrow. I know you can lose 7 pounds in 7 days if you go ahead and get started. Awesome. Bye, y'all. You're welcome. Oh, and I'll be on the Shibby Show in the morning on the public page. So like the Shibboleth public page if you haven't done that yet. Now it's bye. See you on the Funny Papers.